Hello everybody, this video is entitled Saylor's Laser Eyes on Stretch, and I am of course referring to the CNBC interview this morning. Saylor is a big figure in Bitcoin, he is a FUD fighter, but today he takes the opportunity to talk about Stretch. And as you know, every question, if you saw that interview, every question, he brings it back to Stretch. Saylor is laser focused on Stretch. And of course, CNBC tries to get a soundbite and they try to work on FUD, to create FUD. One of the basic questions, for example, that the interviewer asked is, what if the miners stop mining? Wouldn't that be bad for Bitcoin? Because he figures out that the cost to mine is probably around 60,000. Now, this is a Bitcoin 101 question, and if you follow Bitcoin, you know that last Saturday we had a very large drop in the mining difficulty, which means that the cost to mine is going down. But you also know that if the price of Bitcoin drops, if miners unplug, just the difficulty mechanisms adjusts down so that more miners plug back in. It's a recursive loop. It's a self-improving loop. It's a very, very well designed instrument. Again, Bitcoin 101. Why do you try to create FUD with Bitcoin 101? Did watchers never read even a basic primer on Bitcoin? Anyways, Saylor doesn't even bother answering the question about the difficulty of the mining mechanism. He takes it back to digital credit. His answer, you should really ask about digital credit. Let me tell you about it. 3 times he does that. Ask about digital credit. Let me tell you about it. And why is he focusing on digital credit? Because Saylor has explained before that in the world of low attention span like we have today, it's really too much asked to tell people about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin works. But they understand 11% tax deferred. That they get. They get that. They may not get the Byzantine general's problem and all of the wonderful discoveries that Bitcoin uncovered for the benefit of the world. They don't talk about the science. They talk about the sound bites. It's about the sound bites, and Saylor, I think, with the digital credit, has the best sound bites. 11.25% tax deferred. That's the soundbite. So anyways, they also ask him, oh, look, your stock is dropping much, much more. And of course, as I've said before on this channel, MSTR is amplified Bitcoin. That's what he's saying. But MSTR is designed to trade 1.5 times Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin's down more than 50%. So 1.5 times, really, we're down 70%. It's normal. It makes sense, but you can see the chart that they put in there, and they conveniently shows the scale, and it shows 140,000, right? We never reached that, but it almost makes you believe like the asset went from 140 to 60-ish, and of course, that doesn't look good. That chart does not look good. Saylor mentioning in that interview, we're in a bear market. We've been in a bear market for 4 months. I think that's the first time I hear Saylor say it's been a bit of a bear. Performance hasn't been really, really good, and they keep pressing him on other things like, oh, what are you going to do about the debt? I have no idea why they keep focusing on the debt. There is very, very little debt. Most of the funds raised by strategy were through common equity issuance, not through debt. It makes absolutely no sense, unless it is, of course, for the soundbite. Saylor here mentioning about the convertible debt, that of course the banks, if there were ever a need, if Bitcoin were to drop to 8K, obviously the banks would refinance the debt because you could roll it over with other convertible debt. Why? Because of the volatility. And of course, if you go back to the early days of selling the converts, why did Saylor sell the converts? Because selling converts is an opportunity for the company to earn its own premium on its own options. Because when you sell a convert, you have a conversion price, and it's akin to selling your own call option on your stock, which you can't really do, right? You can't go ahead and sell a call option on your stock, but you can sell a convert, which is roughly the same as selling a 4-year out call option on the stock. And of course, if Bitcoin were to drop to 8,000, the volatility of Bitcoin would continue to be through the roof. volatility, and the cost of these options would also be through the roof. So that's why Saylor says, without an ounce of that, of course we'd be able to refinance. But they wouldn't have to. They absolutely wouldn't have to. They could pledge a tiny portion of the Bitcoin and borrow against the Bitcoin like they did in 2022. I know they don't want to do that again. But this is such an odd question when, if you look at the capital structure of a company, it's mostly equity. Still, most of the money that Saylor is raising today is from issuing the common stock. It's mostly through equity issuance. We are now selling $1 for $1.22. That's the latest MNAV. So it's working, if you ask me. But Saylor, of course, is answering, no, I want to talk about Stretch. Let me explain to you Stretch. Let me not explain the Bitcoin basics. The opportunity cost of answering Bitcoin 101 question is just too high. And if BTC was interested in Bitcoin 101, really they should interview, well, maybe not people like Saifedean, but there's a lot of popular people in the Bitcoin space who would be more than happy to answer these 101 baby questions of people who are new to the asset. Anyways, finishing up this video talking about Stretch. Wow, I didn't think we'd be here so quickly. Right, it's Tuesday morning. We're already at $99.79. Wow, we could break 100 during the day today. So that's even quicker than I imagined. MSTR showing tremendous strength today. MSTR is outperforming Bitcoin quite a bit. We should be down 3%. We're not down 3%. We're actually up. And of course, this has been multiple days of outperformance of MSTR now, and that's why MNAV is going back up at 1.22. So MSTR is doing well. The long-term thesis is stronger than ever, and I'm very happy to own this stock for the long run. Hopefully, Saylor keeps going on CNBC on a regular basis and talk about digital credit. This was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.